Welcome back to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is about Oromo Liberation Army OLA operation. A security operation is ongoing against OLA, and the operation is continuing not only in Ethiopia but also outside Ethiopia in neighboring countries as well. OLA fighters are being pursued. Operation is being launched in a neighboring country of Ethiopia against OLA. Details for you. Secondly, Tigray athletes who won medals at World Athletics Championships held last year in the US could not meet their families because last year when they returned to Ethiopia after winning medals, there were restrictions on travel to Mekelle. The athletes could be in Mekelle on Tuesday, reportedly, after a few hours. And thirdly, viewers, Somalia, where Puntland regional president Said Abdullahi Dini made a surprising announcement today. Puntland wants to work as an independent state, independent from Mogadishu. Is it a step towards secession? Why is Dini frustrated? What happened? Is it due to Puntland, Somaliland tensions over Sul, Lassanud? Is it due to Said's failed attempt to be president of the country? He tried to be elected. He could not be elected. In May, it was Hassan Sheikh who was chosen as the president of the country. Said lost in that race. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army, OLA. Operation ongoing. Now it is being reported by several news sources that intense fighting is ongoing in different parts of Oromia. Major operation against OLA is underway. Central, western, southern, eastern parts of Oromia are seeing this ongoing fighting. And we know that in western Oromia, ENDF and federal forces, they're trying to block all OLA attempts of fleeing the western zone towards neighboring countries. It's not that all OLA fighters will flee, but yes, some commanders could flee to neighboring countries because they have their bases there. They have their hideouts there in Sudan, South Sudan. That is why we are seeing fighting in Kellam Valaga. Because Kellam Valaga shares a border with South Sudan. It shares border with the Benishangul Gumuz, which shares border with Sudan. So an attempt is being made to block, to seal borders, you can say, to stop OLA's likely entry into neighboring countries. And so not only is this operation against OLA is underway in Oromia, but also in neighboring countries. We have received information from Kenya that in Kenya, in border areas, Ethiopian National Defense Force has entered and operation is underway in neighboring areas of Kenya, Kenyan soil against OLA. OLA does have its presence in Kenya. We know that in several videos in the past we reported that OLA had some presence in Kenya. Oromos live there too. And it is being reported that intelligence agency of Ethiopia, NIS, led by Tamaskan Tirhone, is playing a key role in this operation against OLA in Kenya. So William Ruto has very close ties with PM Abiy. He's all praise for PM Abiy. It seems change of government in Kenya last year has led to cooperation, more cooperation between security institutions of Kenya and Ethiopia. So hard times ahead for Oromo Liberation Army, that not only in Ethiopia but also in neighboring countries. OLA is being pursued, OLA fighters are being hunted down by government forces. Can government forces weaken OLA? If OLA managed to survive this major offensive, it would then take perhaps decades to completely disarm or to completely eliminate, if it's the right word, Oromo Liberation Army. That's what happens. Secondly, was Tigray athletes who won medals for Ethiopia last year could be in Mekelle in coming hours. Last year in the US World Athletics Championships was held, and three athletes from Tigray won medals. Letisembet Gide, Gudaf Sege, Kutetom Gebrselassie won medals. And then we saw interviews of their family members who were in Tigray, but they could not meet their champion daughters because there were restrictions back then on travel to Tigray from outside Tigray. The athletes returned to Ethiopia. They were warmly welcomed in Addis Ababa. All Ethiopians welcomed them. Now the athletes have opportunity to see their families in Tigray because we know that by air travel to Tigray has resumed and we're seeing flights to Mekelle and Shire on daily basis from Addis Ababa. Reportedly on Tuesday, these athletes could arrive in Mekelle. If it happens, obviously they will be warmly welcomed. So in coming hours, we'll try to update you about the athletes. Secondly, Tigray regional government today confirmed the ban on youth regarding travel from Mekelle to Addis Ababa. But Tigray government, regional government, in a talk with Tigray TV said that Tigray regional government was not part of the decision. Decision was made by some federal authorities and regional government was in touch with the federal government to resolve the issue. It has been confirmed that the decision was made by federal authorities and youth are being prevented from flying to Addis Ababa from Mekelle, confirmed by Tigray government today. Thirdly, viewers, Somalia, where fragile relations between Mogadishu and federal member states is a serious issue. That is why we saw the spread of Al-Shabaab's influence in Somalia, that regions and federation, they could not unite. We have been seeing a tug of war between Mogadishu and regional states. Regional states, federal member states are very powerful. They resist Mogadishu's attempts to centralize power. Now, in a very important development, Puntland seems to have announced independence, though it says that it will work towards completion of Somalia's constitution. But the announcement today seems to be a step towards secession. Puntland is led by Said Abdullahi Dini. I think he has completed 4 years of his term as regional president. And if you remember, in May, he contested presidential election as well. But Hassan Sheikh was elected, Dini lost. And we saw tensions on Puntland-Somaliland border in the past 2 weeks when there was heavy fighting in Lassanud between locals and Somaliland forces. Both Somaliland and Puntland, they have their claims to Lassanud, claims to Sul region. And yesterday, Dini criticized Mogadishu. He accused Mogadishu of centralizing power. He said that referendum should be held, constitution should be completed, And a decision should be made regarding the future status of Seoul before finalizing constitution of Somalia. So he is raising questions about Mogadishu's powers, that Mogadishu is centralizing power. Secondly, the disputed territories between Somaliland and Puntland are another issue being raised by Puntland. Now, Dini says that Puntland will work as an independent state. It will conduct its own affairs until constitution is completed. It could be a step towards secession if constitution is not completed in the next 4, 5, 10 years. It means Puntland will be governing itself. It will not be governed by Mogadishu. It's a very serious issue. Though not the first time that Puntland has tried to put pressure upon Mogadishu. We have seen that in the past as well. And today, by the way, 5 federal member states of Somalia, like Jubaland, Gulmadog, Hirshabelle, Southwest, they announced that there will be no cooperation between Fisheries Ministry of Federation and Fisheries Ministries of these 5 regions, because Federal Fisheries Ministry was not abiding by some decisions made earlier. There are issues between Mogadishu and regional states, federal member states. But Dini is definitely crossing some limits. And Dini, perhaps due to his frustrated attempts to be the president of Somalia, is now rebelling. Though he says that Puntland will continue to play its role in nation building, in completing constitution of Somalia. At the same time, he says that Puntland will be governed by itself. So, Hassan Sheikh government will have to resolve these issues. And Mogadishu Hargeisa engagement without involvement of Garowe could be dangerous. Dini does not want Somaliland Mogadishu engagement before decision about future status of Seoul between Somaliland and Puntland. Let's see, Hassan Sheikh government wants to engage Somaliland. At the same time, it will have to keep Dini on its side as well.